that will help support cooperation between Pakistan and the UK. The Prime Minister and I have also agreed that he will work very closely with the Prime Minister's own advisor on accountability. As part of our justice cooperation, we have agreed to restart our bilateral prisoner transfer agreement, which will help prisoners from both countries serve their sentences closer to their families. But my visit is not only about justice and security issues. As the first British minister to visit since the election, I'm here to strengthen our relationship across the board. The depth of this relationship is best illustrated through our investment in education, which is central to the UK's work in Pakistan. Since 2011, we have helped over 9.5 million children into primary schools, including 4.6 million girls and over 5 million into secondary schools. I'm proud of what we have achieved together and what we are striving to do, which is to do even more. And finally, I'm here at an opportune moment. As the UK prepares to leave the European Union, historical partners like Pakistan are of renewed significance. With a growing population of over 200 million people, Pakistan has the potential to emerge as an increasingly stronger trading partner for the UK. The UK is Pakistan's largest export market in Europe and the second largest globally. There are already over 120 British companies that operate here in Pakistan. On leaving the EU, we are aiming to maintain and indeed increase the levels of access Pakistan currently receives to UK markets. We want to see more UK-based companies doing business in and with Pakistan. And more importantly, we want to see more companies consider Pakistan for what it is, an excellent opportunity, creating jobs and prosperity for both of our countries. Thank you.
Just before we answer, we take your questions. This justice and accountability partnership, the declaration that we have entered into, I would now request the SAPM for accountability, Mr. Shahzad Akbar, to give some details, because precisely it's a declaration, and he would give you some details so that you have a perspective. So once you know the perspective, you can ask us questions that we will take. Shahzad.
Thank you, Law Minister, and I'm delighted to have the Home Secretary here. It's your second home, and definitely home of your ancestors, and you're always welcome here, sir. And we are also very happy to receive the initiative that your government and your leadership has taken for this justice and accountability initiative between the two countries. Very precisely, as the Home Secretary has said, it will basically have a single point contact person on both sides to expedite the operational working on various cases of extradition, money laundering, and other serious organized crime. The work has already been started with, for example, the National Crime Agency of the UK. We are also discussing having a joint fund on civil recovery of stolen assets, where we appreciate the help and offer of the British government to set up this fund, where Pakistan also contribute, and we go for the civil recovery of stolen asset, as you know, which is the initiative of this government. There is also a discussion of appointment of a Crown Prosecution Service person or liaison at the British High Commission for actually working and helping with the Pakistani law enforcement for filing of all the requests that we do in terms of mutual legal assistance or extradition request. There is also new program under discussion for capacity building of our law enforcement and various institutions with the experts from UK, and also the support for the Prime Minister's initiative of legislative reform. As you know, there have been a few task force that have been formed by the Cabinet for reforms in the civil and criminal justice system and other matters. So the support has been extended by the British government, which we will very happily take and thankfully take. And there's also understanding to restart the prisoner agreement. It still has to go through the cabinet, which is a procedural requirement, but we have agreed today to follow that up, and in coming days that will also be restarted, because just to mention, this agreement existed, but it was suspended for a few years, and now we're going to restart it. With that I would really like to thank you and wish you have a very good stay in Pakistan, and you enjoy Lahore as well, where you're going tomorrow.
جی یس پلیز.
حوالگی کا قانون کے حوالے سے بات کر رہے ہیں, کیا یہ اس کے اندر ابھی اسپیسیفکلی کوئی ایک ٹائم فریم دیا گیا ہے کہ کب تک یہ مکمل ہو جائے گا سارا؟
دیکھیے یہ ایک ڈکلریشن جو ہے یہ آج آپس میں طے ہوا ہے, اور اس کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ ہم نے آپس میں بیٹھ کے اس کی موڈیلٹیز مزید طے کرنی ہے. مطلب اسٹارٹنگ پوائنٹ ہوتا ہے, کہیں نہ کہیں سے اسٹارٹ لینا ہوتا ہے, اینڈ دیٹس ویئر دس از دا اسٹارٹنگ پوائنٹ. اینڈ دی اپروچ آف مائی برٹش کاؤنٹر پارٹ اینڈ his colleagues has been very positive for Pakistan, and I think from Pakistan's perspective, I'd like to thank them, and I'd like to assure them that we want a safer Pakistan and a safer Britain. So we would work towards this goal so that there is a rule of law which is operative on both sides. جی بتائیے. جی
یہ تھا کہ ہوم سیکرٹری کے ساتھ آپ کی کیا ڈسکشن ہوئی ہے اباؤٹ ایون فیلڈ جو کہ آپ نے اس کو ریفنڈ کرانا ہے, اور سیکنڈ اسحاق ڈار کی حوالگی کے حوالے سے کیا بات چیت ہوئی ہے کیونکہ یو کے اس کو پہلے ریجیکٹ کر چکا ہے؟
لیکن میں گزارش کروں, یس وی ہیو ناٹ ڈسکسڈ اینی انڈیویجول کیسز. وی ہیو ڈسکسڈ ان ٹرمز آف پرسکرائبنگ لیگل regime which under the auspices of which we could work. So the answering your question, we have not discussed any specific cases. جی
لسٹ مرتب کی ہے جو ان کو حوالے کریں گے؟ ابھی تو ظاہر انڈیویجول کی بات ہوئی, لیکن آپ نے کوئی لسٹ ترتیب دی ہے جس کی آپ کو ضرورت ہے اور آپ چاہتے ہیں کہ وہ آپ کے حوالے کیے جائیں؟
یہ میں ابھی ڈیٹیلز نہیں شیئر کروں گا آپ سے. سکندر کو لے لے پھر آپ کی طرف آتا ہوں. بالکل آتا ہوں. یہ
So one question for yourself. Do you expect to lodge an extradition request for either Mr. Sharif's sons or Mr. Ishaq Dar in the coming weeks or months? And for the Home Secretary?
I think as far as that is concerned, since we have not discussed any details, therefore I would wish to answer this question. That is something which we would come to the media and discuss later on.
Just to add on your question, it's a process which is before the Accountability Court, and international perpetual warrants have been issued from the Accountability Court, and the National Accountability Organization is the main agency which has to do that. And if they file a request, the government will support, but at the moment it is in their domain, and we did not discuss any individual.
لیکن یہ آج کی جو ہمارا ڈسکشن ہے وتھ ریسپیکٹ ٹو یو, یہ اس کے اسکوپ سے ذرا سا باہر ہے, تو دوسرا کوشچن لے لیتے ہیں. ان کو لے لینا, یہ پہلے بھی ایک منٹ میں آتا ہوں آپ کی طرف. نیکسٹ آپ ان کو لے لیں. ہاں جی بسم اللہ.
جی سردار حمید فرام وقت ٹیلی ویژن. جی بیرسٹر صاحب یہ بتائیے گا کہ یہ جو ایگریمنٹ ہوا ہے یقیناً ہم سمجھتے ہیں یہ کوئی نئی بات نہیں ہے, ایک حکومت نے انیشیٹو لیا ہے احتساب کا, اور برطانیہ اور پاکستان کے درمیان کوئی ایگریمنٹ ماضی میں نہیں تھا. اور ماضی میں ہم نے دیکھا جس طرح الطاف حسین صاحب کے خلاف بھی ایک ریفرنس یہاں سے ماضی کے میں سابق وزیر داخلہ نے بھجوایا, لیکن اس پہ رسپانس نہیں ہوا. اور حال ہی میں ریڈ وارنٹ ایشو کیے گئے اسحاق ڈار کے, وہ بھی رسپانس برٹش کی طرف سے نہیں کیا گیا. تو کیا یہ ایگریمنٹ اسی تناظر میں کیا جا رہا ہے یا کوئی اس کے علاوہ کوئی چیز ہے؟
یہ دیکھیں, یہ ایک اس کا اپلیکیشن ہے اس کی. جی میں جواب تو دے دوں. جی اس کی ایک جنرل اپلیکیشن ہے, انڈیویجول کیسز نہیں ہے, اور نیچرلی اگر یہ اپلیکیبل ہوتی ہے تو پھر یہ اکراس دا بورڈ ہوگی. سوری یس.
This is a new agreement, and it will lead to, I think, much deeper cooperation on justice and accountability. And whilst I can't comment on individual extradition cases or whether we have or have not received them, it's an independent process. It is important, I think, that we work even more closely with the government in Pakistan on one of its key priorities, and the new Prime Minister has made that clear, and we share that, and that is for justice. And that is why I think the partnership that we've announced today, the new UK-Pakistan partnership on justice and accountability, and the new envoy that we will appoint will make a big difference.
साजिद जवेद साहब, मेरा नाम सदीक साहिब है। आपने मुझसे आपसे सवाल यह है कि मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग के लिए जो पाकिस्तान ने स्टेप उठाए हैं मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग के खात्मे के लिए, क्या यूके उनसे मुतमिन है और FATF में क्या पाकिस्तान की सपोर्ट करेंगे?
Both countries take money laundering very seriously, and the work of the the FATF that you refer to is very important, and we want to work with Pakistan to help it come off the grey list, and we will be working with Pakistan. And it's not just because of FATF. I think the government of Pakistan wants to make these changes anyway because they are just the right thing to do, and we will work and cooperate together.
ये आज प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने भी ये बात की और वो मैं बात करना चाहता हूँ और ये हमसे भी बात की और हम लोग भी आपस में ये बात करते हैं कि जी FATF यस वी वुड बी FATF कंप्लायंट, लेकिन वो FATF कंप्लायंट सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं गए कि FATF की रजीम है, हमने खुद ये करना है, हमारा ये कमिटमेंट है, इट इज़ आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और हम ये करेंगे। या
Yes. Farmer from the Telegraph. Did you discuss? Did you discuss how much you actually think is being laundered in the UK? Are we talking millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions? And did you discuss actual specific measures? Is Britain prepared to freeze or seize assets and return them?
We didn't discuss either specific names of individuals or a particular amount. I think for me to get involved in that would be inappropriate, as you will know the process working through, whether it's with the British Police, with the Crown Prosecution Service, the National Crime Agency. These are all independent organisations, and we will be led by the evidence. But what we did do today is renew our determination to seek that justice and to work more closely in sharing information, sharing evidence, so we can bring more people forward for prosecution.
जी, मैं आसिफ अली भट्टी हूँ जियो न्यूज से। ये बताइएगा कि दहशतगर्दी के खिलाफ अब तक पाकिस्तान ने जितनी कामयाबियां, ये साजिद साहब से भी क्वेश्चन है मेरा, कि पाकिस्तान ने दहशतगर्दी के खिलाफ बड़ी कुर्बानियां दी हैं और डेफिनेटली बहुत सारा नुकसान भी हुआ है। क्या एक्नॉलेजमेंट है इस बात की कि ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट हमेशा और अमेरिकन गवर्नमेंट दोनों ही कुछ लिस्टें दे देती हैं दहशतगर्दों की, मोस्ट वांटेड की, और ये डिमांड की जाती है कि डू मोर। क्या बरतानिया ये समझता है कि पाकिस्तान ने जो अपनी जॉब है वो सही तरीके से पूरी कर दी है और अब आगे बढ़ने का वक्त आ गया है कि पाकिस्तान की मदद की जाए? थैंक यू।
आपका सवाल किससे है, मुझसे, इनसे? अच्छा, मेरे ख्याल में इनका रिस्पांस बड़ा पॉजिटिव है और दोनों तरफ का कमिटमेंट है कि किसी भी किस्म की टेररिज्म के लिए जो है वो इक़दाम करेंगे। लेकिन आपने सुना नहीं इनकी जो तकरीर थी ना शुरू में भी, इन्होंने ये कहा कि पाकिस्तान ने सबसे ज़्यादा सफ़र किया है टेररिज्म में, तो खुद कह रहे हैं। तो लेट्स गो बाय व्हाट ही इज सेइंग, राइट?
On that, particularly, Pakistan has suffered probably more than almost any other country in terms of from terrorism. We've suffered ourselves from terrorism. Last year we had 5 terrorist attacks, which was one of the worst years that we've ever had in terms of that crime. And so we will continue to work together at that level. But then also when it comes to illicit finance, corrupt individuals, and you're seeking justice, today we have deepened that cooperation. And to make it work, there's more work for both of us to do. And we know the Pakistan government is committed to that, and we are committed. So, for example, we will be appointing a new envoy for this new partnership, and just that individual, the director of the economic crime unit in our national crime agency, will be the new envoy, and that will make a big difference.
So just one last question, so that we don't miss out.
I'm सुहेल चौधरी फ्रॉम एक्सप्रेस टीवी। मेरा सवाल आपसे है कि आपने इंडिविजुअल केसेस बिल्कुल डिस्कस नहीं किए होंगे, लेकिन मादी का अगर हम देखें रिकॉर्ड, पाकिस्तान और यूके के दरमियान जो क्राइम को रोकने के लिए बातचीत चलती रही वो कोई इतनी अच्छी नहीं रही। डॉक्टर इमरान फारूक कत्ल केस देखें, उसके ऊपर किसी किस्म की कोई डेवलपमेंट नहीं हो सकी। इसके अलावा बाकी जो मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग के केसेस हैं उसके ऊपर भी ख़ास कोई हमें नज़र नहीं आया कभी भी कोई एक्शनेबल हो। मेरा आपसे क्वेश्चन ये है कि यूके आखिर क्यों पाकिस्तान के साथ इन मामलात के ऊपर ताउन करने में रिलक्टेंट दिखाई देता है? थैंक यू।
I don't think the UK is reluctant in this. You know, we are one of your closest friends in working towards justice and getting more accountability. We didn't discuss individual cases because certainly for my position, I have to respect the independence of our law enforcement agencies in the UK, and it would not be proper for me as a minister to get involved in particular individuals. But I want to help to provide the mechanism so that where there is evidence of those individuals, they can be brought to justice and be brought to justice more quickly, and where they do have illicit proceeds of crime, that can be tackled as well. So there is good cooperation, but what it takes is a commitment from both governments to build on this, and you've certainly seen, especially with the change in government here in Pakistan, that commitment at the highest level from your Prime Minister, and there's a commitment in Britain as well to work with Pakistan because it's in both of our interests.
Sajid, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
और आपने इस वक्त देखा ये अहम प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस इस वक्त जारी है। बरतानी वज़ीर दाखिला और पाकिस्तानी वज़ीर क़ानून की ये मुश्तरका प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस है जिसका सिलसिला अभी जारी है। बरतानी वज़ीर दाखिला ने बात करते हुए इस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में कहा कि बरतानिया पाकिस्तान का बेहतरीन और काबिल एतमाद दोस्त है। बरतानी वज़ीर दाखिला ने यह भी कहा कि वज़ीर आज़म, वज़ीर ख़ारजा और वज़ीर क़ानून से मुस्बत बातचीत हुई है। बरतानी वज़ीर दाखिला ने कहा कि फ़ख्र है कि 12 पाकिस्तानी बरतानवी पार्लियामेंट के रुकन हैं।